just as they go through the tri-oval. Back up into the wall hard, Brendan Poole.
Ryan Reed gets hit by the 3 car, pushes him into Brendan Gaughan, and then it's on from there.
Daniel Suarez caught up in this as well.
Just gets clipped in the right rear. That's a hard hit. That is a hard hit.
Caution comes out again.
Grant coming, and the move, it's just, there's nothing he can do. Elliott Sizzler is clearly there all the way up to his quarter panel, and when he turns.
Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano, the 32.
2 spinners come up across the track, and that's what happens in these tight packs when there's a spin way up in front of the pack.
Slowing down, and the guys behind him, they just couldn't get. You saw Joey Logano trying to slow down. Somebody got into the back of him, got him turned around. That's a.
But then you see Carl Evans goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam, makes big contact with the back of the 19.
Yeah, Brian Scott looked
shoot the middle, just didn't clear him.
Cup as the big one's happening once again, coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways.
We've seen this time and time again. The 20 tries to come down on the 5. I don't know if he actually makes contact with the 5 or just the air gets him loose. Man, and then it's just
caused a big wreck.
There's that air cushion that Martin Truex Jr. was mentioning earlier. They didn't actually make contact, but around. And the big one happens behind them.
Oh my God.
As he does, he spins back in, gets the 3 airborne, and he just gets projected off the other cars right up into the fence.
He went from the bottom.
Oh, we got a terrible wreck behind you. Just hold her straight, buddy. Hold her straight.
Look at this real time. They are attending to 3 fans in the grandstands. Some debris did get. Hang on, this will be a wild ride. That was Tony Stewart.
Problems. Huge hit for Kennedy. The 11 up on the safer barrier. Down off the wall it comes to a grinding halt in the middle of the racetrack.
I'm okay.
That's great news. That's the voice of Ben Kennedy.
Right there.
So he's racing on the inside of David Gilliland. They make a little bit of contact. You see John West Townley was on the outside. He's going to run right into the side of him and kind of lift that truck up a little bit. Got into the catch fence. For the 2nd week in a row, we've had a vehicle in the catch fence. But again, the catch fence did its job. It kept that truck down on the racetrack, and you see it riding along the top of the safer barrier.
When they got to turn 1, Phil, I think they were 3 wide, and Ben probably thought that's a difficult angle for the spotters to see as well. And I think that Ben probably thought, wow, look how close that truck comes to going over. Probably thought they were just too wide, and he had room to move up a little bit for the corner.
That's what it looked like.
That was incredible how that truck just grinding along that safer barrier.
That's a battery sliding up in the top lane of the racetrack. Let's take a look at it again.
You could see that it was Gilliland,
John West Townley in the yellow
West,
truck.
and I think John Gilliland was just below John West, and maybe Ben Kennedy felt like they were just too wide and had room to angle himself for the corner, battling for a spot well inside of the top 10.
Man, look at that shot.
Right past one of our camera positions.
Look at all that debris.
But as you pointed out, Phil, that catch fence doing exactly what it's supposed to do as the axle's just grinding along that safer barrier on the wall.
Wow.
Look at ripping the nose off.
We saw
Here
it.
goes that battery.
Yeah, there's a battery out of the truck. It's right in front of the left rear tires where that battery is encased. You can see steam coming out of the lower radiator hose. The radiator's already gone off that truck.
And that wheel, Michael, just turned to the left on that left front just enough to catch it and pull it back down as opposed to rolling over. Watch this from the 25.
Cody Coughlin's going to see what happens, slow down, and look at all the debris he's got to avoid.
Pretty heads-up move by Cody. Immediately when we saw the
Say Matt Crafton or maybe Kenny Schrader.
Big
We got a
contact
crash.
on the back straightaway at the entrance to 3. John West Townley is involved. The 50 is involved of Knowles. The 35 of Erickson, who's made it into his first Mud Summer Classic after missing it last year.
Yeah, the 35 of Erickson was coming to pit road. He was black flagged for starting too soon, so he was coming to pit road. I wonder if he maybe slowed down so much. See him down in the bottom. Oh, look, there was some contact there. It looked like Spencer Gallagher got into the 15 of Chad Boat. That's what started that.
Yep.
Wow.
Just caught the rear end of that truck.
Erickson was coming to pit road, and that's just a bad break.
Ugly come out until now. The 20 of Kenny Habul hit hard.
You see the 62 on the bottom trying to make a move there. I have to say, that's a very tough place to make a move. Things happen really.
Oh, man, that's a hard shot for sure. Luckily, it got to hit him in front of the driver's door. And he's going to need a little help getting the straight out of Compton 26 back to pit road.
Robert Mitten into the tire barrier at the exit of turn 8. Michael, that is one of the fastest sections of the racetrack.
Look at that debris flying in the air. Those tires like they were just toys tossed up in the air. But Mitten steps out of his truck, and he's perfectly fine. Even though
4 or 5 cars.
Oh, boy. David Starr negotiates his way through pretty effectively.
Maybe there was some there.
David Starr getting into Benny Gordon.
Yeah.
I didn't see the initial contact. We might want to look at it one more time.
Comes here, entering pit road, and going over the double jump is the 15, just launching the truck into the sky is Mason Mingus. Look at all the damage left behind. I mean, he got all 4 wheels off the ground. Watch how fast he came in here.
It's coming in too
fast
hot
on entry. I don't know if maybe the brakes didn't. It seemed like the brakes got to working good right before he hit the grass. Look at that thing ramp up in the air. A really difficult pit road to get to, Phil, because it's right way around the turn. So, but that wasn't even close.
Sure wasn't. A lot of damage to Mason Mingus's truck as well, as you see Timothy Peters go by. Watch this view right here.
Orange cone out of the way safely.
Look like Joey Chitwood or something.
Yeah.
Or the Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
That's incredible.
It's a big story, the way he hit.
Oh, into the wall goes the 10. And 10 is hit as well as she was coming back down the track. Danica Patrick.
Deep.
Yeah.
Between the 31 and the 10, there was definitely contact. Whether the 31 came up or the 10 was coming down, that's what makes this corner so difficult.
Do that on purpose, but ultimately it looked like Ryan did not give her the room that she was expecting.
Now they've stopped the field on the backstretch. We've gone to a red flag condition. A lot of cleanup is going to have to take place.
Oh, and there goes Theriault hard into the wall. And that's Reddick in the 19 that had the problem. That kicked it all off with Theriault as he comes grinding to a halt on the front straightaway after a huge, heavy impact here on the front stretch.
There's Reddick high in turn 4, loose. Just about has his truck saved, and along comes Theriault. Look at that right front tire.
Yeah, really nothing Austin can do.
At all.
And Tyler Reddick, he was just fighting to regain control of his truck.
I don't know. We didn't see if anything maybe clipped Reddick and sent him sliding sideways. We just caught it as he was up there fighting for control of that truck. Oh, that's so scary.
It's such a sick feeling for Tyler, watching his teammate turn into the outside wall right in front of him.
Present itself today. This is going to be a line in the sand for a lot of these race teams.
Yeah, there's no reason for someone, Jeremy Clements back in 15th spot or
54, posted, pass through, penalty pushing, and here's the big one. Down the back straightaway at Talladega. Matt Crafton in it.
And he just knew it had to happen at some point. It was just too tight. There was too much pushing and shoving, and finally it all just broke loose.
So NASCAR felt Christopher Bell too aggressive in pushing at the front of the field when he was tucked in right behind Brandon Jones.
You know what the shame of that is, though? They went by Brian Keselowski by pushing like that. Brian lost his chance to win the race. NASCAR didn't think that that was too much pushing, so they black flag Bell.
And Matt Craft has stayed just unraveled in the last 20 laps with everything that's happened, and it resulted in that.
Oh, it looked like that. The Johnny Sauter truck, I think, was in the middle, and someone didn't know he was there.
Yeah, it was the 51 truck, Mike. It looked like he was on the top 3 wide there and started to come down over the cross of over the front of Johnny Sauter's nose, and that's really what triggered the whole accident.
Yeah, that 51 of Matt Tifft got turned around riding backward.
See, there was Sauter right on the tailgate of the 51, and then look, Crafton just almost squeaked by the outside, but couldn't quite make it.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Record. Stay straight.
He just missed getting through there.
Yellow's off.
And
Yellow's off.
I like what Crafton did. He just left the hammer down. He knew if he was...
They wrecked behind him. The green flag is out as they cross the start-finish line.
The track trying to determine if these cars can drive off. It's very important to see who the leader is when the light comes on.
Caution.
Still there.
Oh, around goes the 20.
Keep coming. Shove through.
Kids at the round, out in front of the...
Outside, tight. Right there in front of you.
Where the 41 hits, that inside wall, that's actually a new safer barrier there. Cleared by Logano, maybe no! Kinza takes him out! Logano into the wall! Caution comes out and the crowd roars!
Like what happened the week before was more than 2 weeks before was more than it should have been, and
not having the day that he wanted to have.
Down there, still down there.
Guys, there's side-by-side battles all over the road.
Big problems here as the 33 of Jones spins around and collects a couple, including the 9 truck of William Byron. And the K&N Pro Series East champ is already into the wall here tonight.
I think maybe William in the 9 and Brandon Jones in the 33 got together a little bit. Look at all the damage to that 33 truck. One of the guys you thought maybe get to victory lane tonight.
They were racing along for the 7th position, Ralph, and they were side by side. There were side-by-side battles all over this racetrack. Talked about how difficult it is to run side by side at these speeds. These young racers learning a lesson
Watch
here.
Brandon Jones now go through the dogleg. Looked like Brandon maybe thought he was clear. William still had his nose up in there. They made contact and it turned the 33 around.
Also, Cole Custer in there as well in the 00.
Yeah, I think pretty significant damage to him too. See the big contact into the right side, and then he clips Byron. I think William just felt like he had the space to run on the outside of Brandon Jones, and Jones went up like he wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't think William had any idea that Brandon Jones was going to move up the racetrack. Gets into the 00 Cole Custer, that turns him back into William, or actually avoids William, but then Cole Custer with nowhere to go makes contact with William.
Watch the job Timothy Peters does here. The veteran just working it so close to the inside and avoiding contact with the 33.
Take a look from the 8 truck here. John Hunter Nemechek.
You see, William was out against the outside wall.
Look at John Hunter.
4.
They're together.
Oh,
they're together.
And there goes Sauter. Oh, man. Huge implications.
It looks like Eric Jones may be able to survive that contact.
Not that 88 truck.
Man, no way. Sauter's truck taken out, the 88 heavy damage, and how about the 4?
Yeah, look at the damage to that left rear corner of that Toyota.
We've talked about the speeds in excess of 150 miles an hour on this track. Will that team elect to come to pit road?
There goes Sauter right to the garage area.
A little bit of a fire under the hood.
Underneath the hood, you can see it down on the very bottom. He's got the window net down. There's Crafton's 88.
You know, that may bring the 4 to pit road for Rudy Fugle and his guys to look at that truck, because he knows that the issues that the 88's having.
But look at the 19 truck of Tyler Reddick. He's been able to get up to the 8th position right now, maybe even 6th when these trucks pull off. You can just see right there, the truck was up the hill. Jones had to make the corner, and then he slides down and takes out his teammate as well.
You know, Eric Jones made a little more severe contact with the outside wall than I initially thought. Looks like he bopped it pretty good.
It's just so hard to keep your truck on the bottom.
And this is hard racing here. There's absolutely no intent whatsoever, but you can see how hard that 4 got into that outside wall and how hard that Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter got together.
And we're going to have a great race to the checkered here. You got Timothy Peters. We've talked about how solid that truck is. You see him there in the 4th spot as they exit turn 4 here. But when these 3 trucks crash, he's going to inherit the lead.
I'm telling you, a lot more contact with the outside wall for Eric Jones.
It was a much harder hit than it initially looked like, wasn't it? Yeah, he really popped the wall pretty good.
You got Peters, and then behind Peters is John Hunter Nemechek. We've seen that truck really strong down on the apron in turn 3 and 4. He's going to be serious about trying to get this win.
Hey, it's anybody's race right now. That just wide open right now. We may get to victory lane.
See that left front of Jones' truck come right up off the racetrack.
Mm.
Right along and listen.
Matt was trying to stay off Eric Jones, and certainly no intent whatsoever, just hard racing. He knew that if he lost that lead, he probably lost the race.
And the championship.
And the championship.
Keep coming. Hey, Ricker behind you. Yellow's out. Yellow's out.